Hi everyone. This morning I am meeting with Dale. Yeah, thank you so much, Dale. Lovely to see you this morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm really well. Yeah, thank you for inviting me. I'm very grateful.
Oh, lovely. Very welcome. Would you like to tell everyone a bit about yourself?
So I'm a natural therapist and a homeopath. I have a background as an engineer in the oil industry. I live in Norway. I'm Canadian. I live on the west coast of Norway. Very beautiful, quiet country. It's lovely, and it's a beautiful day today.
Oh,
So yeah, that's me kind of basically.
great, lovely. Thank you. Yeah, so Dale joined me for my No Regrets End of Life Planning program. I think it was last year. I can't keep up with the time at the moment. It just flies so fast. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just gonna have a chat with Dale, and she's gonna share her experiences of how it was for her with the end of life planning. How old are you, Dale? If you don't mind me asking.
60.
You're 60. Ah, happy 60th.
Thank you. Milestone.
So, how was it for you growing up with like the topic of death, like in your family? Did they talk about it? Was it taboo, or was it, yeah, what was it like?
Um, we didn't talk much about it, and there weren't many deaths around us because we moved to different countries every 3-4 years. So we didn't live near the close family, like the grandparents or anything like that. So we never attended any of the funerals. Um, but my father was a devout Baha'i, and my mother was as well, but he was more devout than her. And Baha'is believe that when you die, you go into another realm where everything is even better than here. And so they kind of, in a way, look forward to dying. And so I think that is really this few small things that death did come up in, was that Dad was always saying that it's like being born. Like you get born into this life here, and then when you die, you're being born again into something else, but even far more beautiful. So he always looked forward to his death. And
Wow.
I think he saw it as a way of out of this life. I'm not sure he totally agrees with that as he was dying, but that's what he had as his basis. He also as a Baha'i, they are very clear about having to have a will. So Dad was always, and Mom was always on, have you written your will yet? Have you written your will yet? Do you have a will? It's like that, those are the basic things that I grew up with.
That's amazing. That's really, yeah, that's really positive, isn't it? That's
In a way, because I felt that, as he got near to his end of life, he died in cancer. I felt that um, uh, actually he had looked so forward to dying that he didn't quite live and wasn't quite present here. So you got to take everything in balance.
yeah.
Mm.
Well, that's interesting. It's very interesting, isn't it? Yeah, living in the here and now in this life. So wow. Oh, thank you. Um, what was your motivation for yeah, working with me? No
My
regret.
dad saying, "Do you have a will yet? Do you have a will? Do you have a will?" I had a will, but I wasn't happy. I wanted to, you know, stipulate a lot more things. I wanted to be completely clear for my kids when I passed, and I'd been thinking about it for years. And then you showed up with the wonderful offering of your program, and it was just perfect timing. And yeah, it's great, really great. I'm really glad that you were there at that time and supported me through it.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. How old are your kids?
My daughter is 31 and my son is 27.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good, isn't it? Just to have all that in place for them. So
Yeah.
give them a bit of a roadmap, what's to be done. Just looking at my questions. Um, So what was stopping you from getting it done on your own? What were the challenges there?
Just life. I mean, I just seem to be always busy with a lot of stuff, and I would just like, oh, I'll do it later, I'll do it later, do it later, do it later. And it was just so important to have a mentor to make me do it now rather than later.
Right.
It's not that I didn't want to do it, because I found it really heartening to do it, but I just kept putting it off.
Yeah, it's so easily done, isn't it? So easily done. I mean, I put things off with other things, and it's like I need mentors. It's like we all need mentors, we all need support. Yeah. And so did you have anything at all in place before you started working with me, or?
I had a will.
Right. Oh yeah.
But it needed reworking. But yeah, I did have a will. I didn't have anything else in place.
Yeah. And I guess, like, was it easy in general to find information on things, or you just didn't? If that makes sense.
I didn't really, I mean, working with you put it clear, what documents are useful to have, what is it that you need. And I guess I ended up with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 clear documents. And so it's not just a will. There's lots of other things that perhaps I didn't think about, and I didn't know how to structure. And so you had divided it up nicely for me, and guided me on what would be useful to have, what would be good to have. Things like I hadn't thought about, because you've put a lot of thought into this.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and it's so true, isn't it? Because it's like the will's like the obvious one that people know, and there's so many other different aspects that people don't think about and don't want to think about, and it's not until somebody dies that you go, oh my goodness, nobody told me about this. So yeah, that's why I'm really passionate about doing this, just to support people and telling them, just informing people what they need to get done. So that's a great show, thank you. So oh my gosh, what became clear for you during this time?
I think what became clear, especially after I'd done my documents, was that it was like a lifting of a weight that I've been sort of carrying around, that I knew, because of my father harping on it all the time, I knew that I needed to do this properly. And just, it's like the to-do list, that you've got this stuff that you're carrying around, and it's just such a relief to have had it done and to have it there. And I can tell my kids, this is where it is, these are the documents, I'll keep them updated digitally, but here are the hard copies, this is where I keep it, please look at these beforehand. I don't think they have done so, but
Yeah.
this is everything. And also knowing that I have put in there how I want to be cared for if I'm in a state where I can't care for myself or make my decisions. This is what I want, this is kind of food I want, this is where I want to be. This is the medicines I will refuse to take. I don't want that. And just like, there are foods now that I don't tolerate and don't eat. And I just put it clearly down. Do not feed this to me. just knowing that things will be cared for in the way I want them cared for. And a very important phase of life is you call it lightening. It just was the clarity was that how important and how much it lightened me to just live now and not worry about that sort of thing.
Wow, that's really powerful. Thanks, Dale. Yeah, and like you say, it's so important, isn't it? Like I've said about things we don't think about, is like, how you would wish to be cared for, and have that written down and tell people and what's important to you. And I mean, why would we stop? We spend our whole life taking care of ourselves, and and like you being like the natural homeopath. yeah, taking great care, and then suddenly it just not mattering, it's like you want that continual support.
All of a sudden being fed cholesterol meds and heart meds, and I was like, I don't want that.
No, I don't want Brussels sprouts. I don't ever want anyone to feed me Brussels sprouts. I don't like them. So yeah, I worked in a few, well, I spent 9 years going into different care homes and that, and just witnessing when the tea trolley came round, and meal times, and working with people that have really advanced dementia and who couldn't vocalize what they wanted and had to be, spoon fed, and they could communicate maybe with a blink of an eye and stuff. And it's like, how on earth would you tell someone, I don't like that, in that sense? There's no one else that knows you or can speak up for you. So important. So yeah. Oh, so what else have I got? What challenges or obstacles did you encounter, like on the way doing the program?
Probably time-wise, and also yeah, I think time-wise, just setting aside the time to do it, especially when I started listing up my like special items and belongings, and who I would like to get what. And I still haven't quite finished the very last document, which is my wishes of like, what was it called? Letter of wishes and specific items.
Right, yeah.
It's pretty well done, but it's just like, that's everything else was pretty easy because you set it up so easily and clear, and you sent me links and things to read, and you also found out the proper links for my country, for Norway, which I wrote my will based on Norwegian law. But it was just finding the time, and also finding the willingness to look at all my things and think, someday all of these things are going to be given away. And it was like, probably the most challenging was willing to let go of everything, and understanding that someday I will be no more. Probably the most challenging thing to come to terms with, and that could be why people like kind of delay doing this, because it's kind of uncomfortable to start going into that modus of considering that one will not be here anymore. But it's great to get, it's not, I think the payoff of having done it is far greater than the kind of discomfort when one's putting together the documents. So I would definitely recommend to anyone to just do it.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Also like a motivation, I think, for a lot of people is they because they don't want to, because if when we die, it's like you say, I look around and go, like, look at all my stuff and go, I can't take it with me, can't take any of this with me, and someone's going to have to walk in here and sort it all out, and it's it's quite something, isn't it? So, but having been on the kind of receiving end of having to sort people's things out after they've died, it's just so much easier when there's instructions left, like the will, like the funeral wishes, like, yeah, and just having the contacts for like who to contact, how to, registering a death, clearing out a flat, and all the belongings and who gets what, and and it just stops any squabbles because it's all been, the instructions have been left and it's clear, because the emotions are running so high, aren't they, after somebody dies? It's like and we're not thinking straight at all. So as hard as it might be, it's like you say, the rewards are yeah, the benefits outweigh the thing. But also it kind of gets you to think, doesn't it? It's like, oh my goodness, I have a finite time, let's live now. So yeah. So one more question. What have we got? Oh, got pop up. That wasn't meant to happen. Another one. Oh dear. So and how are your children with you doing this?
So my daughter didn't really want to didn't want to know about it, but I think she found it a little uncomfortable that knowing that I was working on it. But I think what it's done is it's opened up the dialogue so that she became more and more relaxed about it, because she doesn't like the idea of me dying, but she became more and more relaxed about it as I kind of sent drafts. I said, this is what the will looks like now. And I put, on the document that is called End of Life and Funeral Plans, I put brackets around, so I had funeral, FUN, free, and then I put brackets around funeral so that it was a funeral. And that kind of eased it up for her a bit. My son hasn't said much, so I don't know. I think I will remind them to have a look at the documents, especially the advance directive of how I want to be cared for and what sort of care I refuse, just so they know, so they're not, just so it doesn't get overlooked and they start making decisions without knowing that it's there.
Yeah, and know where it is as well, because that's the important thing.
Yeah.
Things happen suddenly. Usually it's like, blink of an eye, it can all change, and it's like, where's that document? Yeah, I had that with my friend, and his kidneys got blocked, and suddenly it was like, I was starting a webinar and then I could hear the phone going, and I thought, maybe I better pick that up, and it was the doctor, and then it was my friend, and it's like, I've got to go in hospital. So and then it was like, right, I got to go. And yeah, just the questions like the doctors would ask, and that, like, they ask about, has your friend written a advanced directive, and would they want this treatment, this invasive treatment to unblock the kidneys? And yeah, it was just, yeah, it was, and so just, when we didn't have that conversation beforehand, and it would have helped if we had it done, because this was like 10 o'clock at night, and we were like, yeah, so don't recommend that at all. So yeah, wow, yeah. And I think you shared something about your mum. You found out something about your mum's funeral wishes.
Yeah, it was useful because I knew what to look for, and I did manage to get an advance directive done for her officially in the UK, which is wonderful to have. And I found out that she wants to be buried in a environmentally friendly coffin, and then she wants to be buried in a fluffy nightie with a matching house coat to it, a matching gown to it. I was going, I never would have thought of that. I think actually we need to probably buy that nightie. She's 90 now.
Oh.
It would be good to have that on hand. She does have some nighties, but I think we need to have a newer one ready.
Right.
I think she'll be okay with that we look for a nice nightie with a gown for her. And she's not sure about the open coffin. And, when I was doing this, she was still dyeing her hair. But now in COVID, she stopped dyeing her hair, gratefully, because I think she looks so much better with the white hair. But she at that time was saying, yeah, I want you to dye my hair. I don't want any roots. Okay. But we don't have to do that now, so that's good. Yeah, the nightie was the biggest surprise. And I also knew this, but she wants some ashes from my brother who passed away, actually be 10 years ago, on the 10th of March. So she has a little packet of his ashes that she wants to be buried with in her coffin with her.
Oh, that's touching. Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Oh, Dale, thank you so much. It's been wonderful meeting with you today. And anything, what would you say to the people out there who haven't yet put anything in place? What would your message be to them?
Well, first, I would highly recommend your services. It's been so helpful. It's been, what we call it, invaluable, just making everything get done quickly and smoothly. And, you would give me a little prod, like, how's it going? Should we have a meeting? And you're always available. And definitely, I highly recommend getting these documents done. I've got like the last will, the advance directive, power of attorneys I now have in a place, my practicalities upon death and incapacitation. So that's who to notify, all my bank accounts. It's just, you've listed up everything we need to have there. And then the funeral plans and end of life, and then letters of wishes and specific requests. It feels great. I've got them all in this ring binder here. And I keep it in a fireproof case. But I will be sending the will into they store them at the police office here. So I will send that in. And it's also digital for my kids to have, just in case they quickly need to access something.
Brilliant. Oh, well done.
I really, really, really am grateful to you, Mala. It really has meant an awful lot to me, and it's worth every penny of it and even more, because the ring-on effect is that I can inspire others also to start, getting their things in order. Makes it easier for everyone and easier for me, and dying in peace without having to worry about, like, oh, what's going to happen to that, and do they know that that piece of jewelry is really valuable, and it's like, you don't have to worry about any of that.
Yeah.
Do they have access to my Facebook account? All sorts of things. Just so great to know that will not have to be worried about, and I can instead, spend my last days with my children, or being with them, instead of trying to use my last bit of energy to make instructions clear.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. You're amazing.
Thank you. But peace, it has to do with peace. It has to do with dying in peace as well.
Yeah. Oh, Dale, thank you so much. That's so brilliant to meet with you and just to hear how it was for you. So thank you. And I hope that supports and encourages other people to start thinking about it. So amazing. That's so brilliant. Have a wonderful day, and thank you so much, and thank you for watching, everyone, and see you all soon. Bye.